Today is the 12th day of the 8th month in the 9th year of Channel Group, September 18, 2021. To begin our day, let's offer our respect and gratitude to our Heavenly Parent and true parents of heaven, earth, and all humankind. 현지인 참 부모님께 경배. 바로 let us recite 가정 맹세.
가정 맹세 1. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 본향 땅을 찾아 본연의 창조 이상인 지상 천국과 천상 천국을 창건할 것을 맹세하나이다. 2. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님을 모시어 천주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국가에서는 충신, 세계에서는 성인, 천주에서는 성자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 3. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 4대 심정권과 3대 왕권과 황족권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 4. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 창조 이상인 천주 대가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 5. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 천상세계와 대상적 지상세계의 통일을 향해 전진적 발전을 촉진화할 것을 맹세하나이다. 6. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님의 대신 가정으로서 천운을 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 7. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 본연의 혈통과 연결된 위하는 생활을 통하여 심정 문화 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 8. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 천일국 시대를 맞이하여 절대신앙, 절대사랑, 절대복종으로 신인의 일체 이상을 이루어 지상천국과 천상천국의 해방권과 석방권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Okay. For the opening prayer will be led to us the President of IAYSP Zamboanga Peninsula Chapter, Mr. Brian L. Katpay.
Good morning, everyone. Let us bow our heads and feel the presence of God. Good morning to our most beloved heavenly parents and true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind. We thank you so much for all love and guidance and blessing that you've given us throughout the day, throughout every day of our entire lives. Thank you for always guiding us and being there for us, for giving us so much blessings, even though sometimes we feel that we are really indebted to heavenly parents and true parents. We thank you for that, heavenly parents, for always being there for guiding us and giving us so much blessings, even though sometimes we feel that we really don't deserve it sometimes. We thank you for all the protection, and also I pray that you may be able to protect us, especially in amidst this pandemic, heavenly parents and true parents, that everyone may be able to be safe, that all our blessed families, that your mother may be able to be safe. We pray, heavenly parents, that you may be able to really give true strength always a true mother, and that she may be able to really do much more, heavenly parents, and to be able to protect and guide and give good health to all our leaders and really all our members throughout the world. We thank you for also once again for all the love and blessings that you given to us. And I report in the case, proclaim this in my neighborhood, bless us and Central West family, Aju.
Drew. So let us offer our unison prayer. Si Jack. Drew. And now, good morning once again, brothers and sisters. Um, Good morning, our heavenly parents, our two parents, to all our leaders, our Dr. and Mrs. Kittel, our Reverend Dr. Julius Malikdim, and especially to our national leader, Reverend Leo Angelon Halog, to all blessed families, brothers and sisters all over the world. Good morning. Um, Good morning. Ohayo gozaimasu. Annyeonghaseyo, everyone. Buenos dias. So I am your host for this morning devotion. I am Miss Hussein Jane Etom. And for today's Kondati reading, please help me welcome Miss Robelyn Niasco with a virtual clap.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. Mother of Peace, a member by Hak Jahan Moon. Chapter 1, My Cherished Lifelong Wish Continuation. Wildflowers smile on a mountain path. It been raining a lot and the path will be slippery. My assistant informed me, why don't you just rest today? Of course, she was concerned for my safety, and I thanked he but continued by preparation. In autumn, we have heavy rainstorms, and snow falls in the winter. There are countless reasons and excuses to stay inside. Regardless, after his passing, I departed my room each day of dawn for praying at my husband's tomb, and upon returning, I prepared his breakfast and dinner. As I walked along the path up the hill to the Banyangwon and back, he and I shared many heart-to-heart conversations. My husband thought become my thoughts, and my thoughts become his. Korean bonsai pines line the path to the Bonhangyangwon, and underneath them, clusters of wildflower bloom in the spring. During the winter, wildflowers disappear, but in spring they bloom profusely, as it competing with each other. I would stop on my way up the steep incline to take a closer look at the grasses and flowers. Displayed their color beautifully in the spring bright morning sun. Whether I was there to admire them or not, I would become intoxicated with their beauty, cursing the white flowers before resuming my ascent up the path. The walk was difficult, but my heart would be as serene as the flowers. When I would reach my husband's tomb, I would carefully check to see whether any weed had sprouted among the blades of grass. our wither animals had left any traces. The lawn on the grave became greener and greener as time went by. Sitting alone in front of his tomb, I would pray to everyone in the world to be as beautiful as wildflowers, to have minds as strong as pine trees, and to always live prosperous, live as a green as a summer lawn. On my way down, I would say farewell to the flowers and pine trees. My friends of the natural world, I will meet you again tomorrow. The path I would walk was the same each day, but the weather was never the same. There would be days when I felt the warm rays of the sun. There were windy days, rainy days when thunder roared and the lightning struck, and snowy days covering everything in white. During this 3 years period of devotions, I also retraced my husband's travels throughout the United States, traveling nearly 4,000 miles as my husband had done in 1965, and visited the 12 mountain peaks we had toured in the Swiss Alps to pray and meditate. Through these devotions, our spiritual oneness depends into eternity. In traditional Korea, offering such a filial devotion and remembrance of one's deceased parents was expected, representing the family. The first sons would build a small hut just to the west of his father's or mother's tomb and live in it for 3 years, regardless of the weather. Even if unable to eat properly or make a living through this period. Those 3 years represent the 3 years after we're born, where we receive our father's and especially our mother's full love and care, without which would not have survived. This time of devotion is a time to acknowledge, show gratitude, and return that love and kindness. Today, there are too many people who forget their fathers and mothers' kindness. From those who lack filial piety toward their own parents, compassion of heavenly parents on the true parents who have shelters over humanity, suffering. Cannot be expected. People today live without a connection to the true parents, not knowing that they are here on earth. So weak and people who have eyes but cannot see. As my husband's wife, I offer devotion in remembrance of true Father every day for 3 years on behalf of all people. With a deep of commitments, I promise my husband and all the members of our worldwide movement, I will bring us back to the spirit of the early days of our church, and I will create a revival through spiritual and truth. A dream of a church that feels like a mother's warm embrace, as a church that is like a home, where people always want to come and stay. This is my husband's dreams as well. Honoring him, I made a decision to dedicate myself to God and all of mankind, even more than before. Since that hour, I have never fully rested. Then in 2015, moved by my husband's unchanging heart, I prepared his gift to humanity. May the Sonhak Peace Prize stands forever as an expression of his eternal commitment to peace. The Sonhak Peace culture. Looking into the hazy summer sky, I queried what the weather was going to be like the next day. There'll be showers in the morning. I was told with lots of clouds. With a smile on my face, I accepted that was how it was going to be. Rain has poured down during many of our Unification Church events. It was more than 40 years ago that heavy showers and strong winds swept through of a Yankee Stadium rally in New York. Heavy rain also fell all day long during the international blessings of 360,000 couples, as well as during the inaugurations of the Women's Federation for World Peace in the Seoul Olympic Stadium. I have grown to accept friends at such time with a gratitude as a gift. So it rained of August 28, 2015, the day of the first Sonhak Peace Prize Award ceremony, that the hundreds of guests coverage on our hotel in Seoul, moving quietly through the downpour, summer's last cleansing gift. Thankfully, when the doors opened, the skies cleared and felt like God's joyful welcome to our guest. Adieu.
Okay. Thank you so much, Miss Robelin, for our Hondok reading. Let's give Ate Robelin a virtual round of applause. And for this moment, to share with us certain points of gratitude, please welcome up Miss Gretel Ann with a virtual clap. Nakamute ka, te. Great. Nakamute ka. Please unmute. No sound po.
Hello, good morning. Naririnig po ba?
Yes.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. These are my 10 points of gratitude. So the first one is, I am thankful and grateful to Heavenly Parent and true parents for giving me an unending love, for giving me the guidance and protection, and for giving me a happy and complete family. Second, I am thankful and grateful to all international and national leaders for all their hard works and encouragement. I appreciate them so much and value everything that I have learned from them. Third is, I am also thankful and grateful to my regional leaders for giving me an advice and inspiration. I also appreciate all the knowledge and skills they imparted to me. Fourth is, I am thankful and grateful to my Uncle Gerardo Peñoso and Auntie Kasumi in Japan, and also my Auntie Jenny in Korea, for all the support and guidance that they gave us. Even though that they are very far from us, we always feel their love and they never forget us. Fifth is, I am thankful and grateful to all my Tong Ilmodo and IAYSP family. Because of them, I am learning new things, new skills, and new knowledge. Six is, I am thankful and grateful to my grandparents for always being there for me. I'm so happy that I have them in my life. Next is, I am thankful and grateful for my siblings and cousins. Every time we bond together, I feel very comfortable and happy. Eight is, I am thankful and grateful for my friends who are always there for me in times of sadness and difficulties. Nine is, I'm thankful and grateful for my education because I have learned that hard work, perseverance, and the support of my family pays off. Lastly, I am thankful and grateful for my parents, for my mother who is working abroad just to give us comfortable life, and for my father, a very hardworking teacher. He is the one who always taking care of us when my mother is not around. So that's all for my 10 points of gratitude. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Miss Gretel Antinius, for that very wonderful 10 points of gratitude. Muchísimas gracias. And now, please, let's give her a virtual round of applause. And for the offering song, she's very excited to share with us her talent. Please help me to welcome with a virtual applause the second generation our beautiful, talented Nifil babies, our Ikta, Gadon, Dakal, with a virtual round of applause.
You called me out upon the waters, the great unknown, where fear may fail. And there I find you in the mystery, in oceans deep. My faith will stand, and I will call upon your name, and keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans rise, my soul will rest in your embrace, for I am yours, and you are mine. Your grace abounds in deepest waters. Your sovereign hand will be my guide. The feet may fail and fear surrounds me. You've never failed, and you won't start now. So I will call upon your name, and keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans rise, my soul will rest in your embrace, for I am yours, and you are mine. Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders, and let me walk upon the waters, wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of my Savior. Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders, and let me walk upon the waters, wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of my Savior.
Wow, thank you so much, Miss Ikta Gadon Dakal, for that very amazing and wonderful song. And now let's give her a virtual round of applause. So I know All of us are excited to hear spiritual guidance. And now, for us to be more inspired, please help me to welcome our very artistic, energetic, passionate, hardworking national leader, no other than Reverend Dr. Leo Angelo T. Halog, with a virtual round of applause.
Sorry, I cannot unmute. Yeah, so thank you very much to our host for today, our MC, our sister Hussein. I would like to greet first our heavenly parents and true parents. Good morning, our heavenly parents and true parents. To all our beloved leaders, our beloved Chondo families, the central families, brothers and sisters, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Good morning to everyone. Thank you for again joining our morning devotion, and I would like to appreciate Region 9 family for hosting today's morning devotion. Yeah, today we have our very precious second generation brothers and sisters, I think, joining from Nepal. Thank you for the wonderful song offered to us by our second generation, Ekta, the daughter of Honorable Eknat, and Ati Blasi Dakal. Thank you for that very beautiful song. And also for the 10 points of gratitude shared to us by our sister Getal Ann. Yeah, thank you so much for your sincere gratitude. And so I would like to welcome all of you once again for today's morning devotion. Today is the 14th day of our 40-day morning devotion. So actually, we are really coming closer now to our event, the Pacific Christian Leadership Conference. I think around just today is already 18, just 2 weeks to go, and then we're going to have this historic event with our beloved True Mother. So we have to really prepare well. This morning, I would like to continue with my topic in Chambumugyong. So today, I would like to share this topic entitled Preparation for Unification. Let us study Father's words. The True Father said, we need to focus our activities on the administrative units of a village. To unify North and South Korea, we need to focus our activities on the administrative units of the village and district. First, we have to strengthen and educate on the hamlet and block level throughout the district's villages. Second, we have to educate wards and blocks throughout the city districts. Third, we have to utilize town halls and schools. We need to find suitable places to run educational programs on the local level. Fourth, we have to form a supporters association. All problems can be resolved once we have a supporters association. Its members can decide about donating money every month for the sake of liberating North Korea. The heads of wards, blocks, and districts can meet together and build a preparatory fund. The supporters association will gather contributions and donations. So, as we can see how much True Parents have invested for the reunification of North and South Korea from a long time ago, already around 3 or 4 decades. True Parents have really invested so much, all their effort. And then as what we are doing, the mobilization we are doing, also the same is true with all our members in Korea. That time, the strategies they are doing, and really focusing with the education. And then, you know, when I'm reading this guidance of Father, I can really realize and really understand also the things that they have invested and they have done in Korea. The same is true, the mobilization that we are doing this time, the strategies, you know, really going to the villages, to the districts, like now in our country, and we are doing in the regional level, provincial level, and then also in the municipality. Really, True Parents have invested so much to really reunify North and South Korea. So these are the efforts that our true parents have initiated from how many decades ago. So until this time, can we imagine? So really the heart of true parents to really bring a unification in the Korean Peninsula. So we could understand how much really Korean people are suffering. The North Korean, our brothers and sisters in North Korea, how much they are suffering. That's why we know many people doesn't know really how much true parents is really supporting North Korea, right? Because many people there are dying because of hunger. When especially the United Nation cut off like the giving support to North Korea, our movement still, our true parents, they never stop continuously supporting North Korea. So from before, we could see all the efforts that true parents have done. So we are really working this time together with our true mother, right? All our leaders to really bring about the reunification of Korean Peninsula by 2022. So these are the investment and really efforts that true parents have done from before. So the fruit should have really harvested this time. Aju, Father said that we have educated more than 900,000 people through 4-day workshop. So during the past 20 years, since the International Federation for Victory over Communism was formed in 1968, the Unification Church has formally educated more than 900,000 people through 4-day workshops. Wow, so many people, right? We are proud of this network of valuable human resources that nobody in the world can rival. So in addition to the audience of the IFPOC, the total number of people the Unification Church has educated exceeds 2 million. These people may not become full-time members of the Unification Church, but they constitute a large stronghold in every nook and cranny of the country that is linked to our church. So can you imagine, despite the challenges and difficulties, can you imagine this foundation? So like we don't know, but actually everywhere, especially in Korea, how many people were educated already by this victory over communism? They had been taught the unification principle. So through 4-day workshop, how many people we have educated? So Father mentioned here, we exceed even 2 million. The total number of people that has been educated, we exceed 2 million people. So yeah, that's why with this, with this effort, really that true parents have done, it cannot be compared, right? So Father said, we are proud of this network of valuable human resources that nobody in the world can rival. So only our movement could really educate this big number. So that's why already the foundation is everything, here laid by true parents. That's why this time, as the whole world is coming together to really support for the unification of North and South Korea. Now, top leaders of the world are coming together. Like President Trump, like Prime Minister Abe. Really, these are miracles already happening now because of the effort that our true parents, Aju, really from how many decades ago already, they have really laid this very strong foundation. So really, we are moving forward, that looking forward also by 2022, right? Especially the election in Korea. That's why this time all our efforts, whatever we are doing now, we have to always think, how can we support for the reunification of North and South Korea? Also, we are praying every day, right? So once Korea is reunited, then that will be the beginning of really heavenly unified world. Aju? So we are really, really grateful to our beloved true parents for all their efforts and investment. True Father said, they are like the pulsating blood vessels connected to the heart, ready to spread their energy. They are like the pulsating blood vessels connected to the heart, ready to spread their energy. So neither the government nor any of the political parties know about this. There are countless hidden people who will rush to meet me on short notice, or in one day if I hold a big rally, convention hall, or a stadium. Thanks to our efforts in creating local organizations during those years, we came to possess a rich pool of human resources backing us. We then held a program where we took Korean leaders to the United States for workshops in order to expand
and strengthen the nucleus of this stronghold of people as a bridge that connects the global superstructure with the local substructure. So really, if we cannot, really read and see all these teachings of Father, these, materials, then we cannot really understand really the effort that true parents have done, right, in Korea. Even, bringing leaders of the United States, Father said, for workshops to expand and strengthen the nucleus of this stronghold of people. So that's why Father said, if I, just rush to meet someone, even without notice, immediately I can do that with all this foundation. Or I will hold a big rally or convention hall of stadium. So, in Korea, we remember in 1975, right, the biggest rally, 1.2 million during these times. So this is because of the foundations of true parents. We cannot imagine how many people will have been educated, right? So 900,000 through the 4-day workshop, and all in all, we have reached 2 million in Korea. That's why really we cannot imagine the foundation of true parents. So last Rally of Hope, around 10 Korean governors and mayors are testifying and really showing their support, right? So amazing foundation true parents have laid already in Korea, and then also spread all over the world. And then now all the foundations in the world coming together, bringing all together back to Korea to make sure that really unification between North and South Korea can be able to realize. Aju? So these people that have been educated by our movement, by true parents, so they are like the pulsating blood vessels connected to the heart. Father said they are ready to spread their energy, especially the young people that have been educated, right? So the government nor the political parties know about this. Father said they really, these foundations that true parents have laid, these are now the the foundations that was really being utilized for us to advance towards the reunification. Really, true parents are amazing, right? How much, despite the difficulty during those times, how come they could educate this big number of people, right? Really, true parents, they're really the hope, substantially, right, of this world. So when North and South Korea will be reunited, and then really everything will just follow. Kaya nga, really how much Satan also is having his hold for this nation. Really a lot of challenges true parents have gone through, and now all members are coming together. So really this is now the final time. We have to really also put our effort and really support through our prayers, and then with all the activities that we are doing also in our nations. So really to contribute for the reunification of North and South Korea. That's why our PCLC, this is playing a very important role. This is also one of our greatest contribution, right? Once we educated our top religious leaders, that's why this time we have to really reach out. Lahat po ng pinaka-influential na religious leaders natin, once we educate them, once they will going to know and understand who true mother is, our true parents, right? And then later on, we will organize also these top religious or Christian leaders in our region, and then we're going to organize a tour in Korea. They can meet true mother personally, right? And then if they are really, high level, and then we can, meet high Christian levels, religious leaders also in Korea. Then we can really give big impact, big influence in Korea. Aju? That's why this is a truly great blessing to our region, to our nation. So let's really do our best to really bring really great victory through this Pacific Christian Leadership Conference. True Father said, I am the only one who can do that. Korean politicians nowadays talk endlessly about having autonomous local governance in the regions of Korea. But there is no organization or political party that can surpass our foundation, which is being built not only in Korea, but also in America and Japan. We now must take action and build a substantial beachhead where the tide rising in South Korea flows to North Korea. I am the only one who can do that. Especially, this time that we are going to, celebrate the 30 years anniversary of True Father's visit in North Korea, meeting Kim Il-sung in 1991, right? So this is really now the times, as you can see, when you try to see all the foundations and then how the providence is moving forward, this is really now the time. Father said we must now take action and really build substantial, foothold. This is from 30 years ago, right? Already all the foundations has been laid. So where the tide rising in South Korea flows to North Korea. So I am the only one who can do that. So only true parents, right? That's why even our true mother, she's again invited, to North Korea. So already all the foundations has been laid. So we are now on the final stage now, really bringing all the world, because we really need to have the support of the world, not only within Korea, but really the world over. That's why we are doing all this ILC, centering on the North and South reunification, the think tank 2022 now. This will really become the core that will be the prime mover, right? Bringing all the top leaders of the world in all sectors of society, right? So with this, and then come together to Korea, then South Korea have to move, whether they like it or not, they have to move when these great leaders from the world will come. That's why True Mothers again reminding, and giving warning to South Korea. Supposedly, South Korea need to honor our true father when he passed away, right? But really, Korean people. That's why our other topics the other day, we have to awaken the Korean people, right? So only true parents are the ones who can do this and really shake Korea and the whole world. So with our efforts together, this time supporting our beloved true mother, right? Always thinking, how can we contribute in the reunification of Korean Peninsula? This will become the starting point of the establishment of heavenly unified world. There's no one can do this, only our true parents, right? So now True Mother is leading this movement, this providence. So our unity, our complete oneness with True Mother, and really our desire and effort also can all contribute for the realization of the unification of the Korean Peninsula. Father said this is definitely the fastest solution to the problem of unification. So the unification principle and Hadwin thought are terrifying to the devil's world, while they are amazing assets in the world of God. We have to teach Hadwin thought, God's worldview, and Godism to all North Korean citizens. This is definitely the fastest solution to the problem of reunification. The unification principle is also essential in mediating the never-ending, deep-rooted war between Judaism and Islam in the Middle East. 40 core Muslim leaders of Syria, Egypt, and Yemen have completed a 40-day workshop. Siblings cannot bring this kind of thing about. Only parents can. When it is a parent that is telling them they are real brothers, they can unite. God is that parent. If you teach about God, all will unite. So really, ultimately, how to bring about really a world of peace, it's only about, the teaching of the unification principle through our true parents, right? This is the only thing that will really bring about, even how much, people focus on developing their nations economically, what kind of advancement they have. It cannot bring unification. It cannot bring world peace. The only way is for us to be able to teach all people, right? For people to know our heavenly parent, our true parents, and then teach them about the unification principle, teach them about the Hadwin thought, about Godism, right? If all people, will going to know this and understand this, we can eliminate also completely communism, right? Really, this is the only way. Father said this is definitely the fastest solution to the problem of unification, right? So we can be able to really bring about a world of peace, and all people can be united. So that's why true parents also invested, educating Muslim leaders in the Middle East. They have attended also 40-day workshop. So also the problem between Judaism and Islam, Father said in Middle East, the only solution also is to teach them about the unification principle. That's why the principle that true parents have brought, this is the solution where all people can be united, and especially where humanity can be united with our heavenly parent. Aju, Father said when it is parent that is telling them they are real brothers, they can unite. So God is that parent. If you teach about God, all will unite. That's why True Mother is emphasizing now, right? So people needs to know our Heavenly Parent, especially now during this pandemic also. This is actually a great opportunity now to teach people about Heavenly Parent. Now, people became more aware, right? Became more, some people now became more religious. They started to pray because of the pandemic. So this is actually God's way to really prepare as we are moving forward towards Channel Book, the firm establishment of Channel Book, right? All these things are actually in accordance to heaven's will, heaven's desire. So we have to really take advantage, right? During this time. So really, True Parents' effort are now really bringing the substantial fruit. So really, as we unite with True Mother, we can truly realize heaven's long cherished dream and desire. Aju? So True Father said, I have spent a lifetime fighting communism. So I have spent a lifetime fighting communism. Several times, communists threatened my life, and I barely managed to pull myself out of a perilous situation. However, I was neither against any particular communist leader nor against socialism. The communist ideology based on God-denying materialism is not true. Having totally experienced God and being convinced of His existence, I firmly believe that if our world and humankind do not seek for God and return to Him, ultimately all people will meet their doom. So really, if people will not going to recognize and seek God, Father said, right? So the communist ideology based on God denying materialism is not true. Father never hated anyone, any communist leader. Kaya nga, in our RYF also, our lecturers, they are emphasizing, that communists are good people. Only their ideology is wrong, right? Only the ideology, the one they believe that, this ideology that deny God, this is the ones that is wrong. We have to correct. We have to tell them that this is wrong. But we don't hate the people like Father, right? Father never, hated any person. So Father is saying here that having totally experienced God and being convinced of His existence, that's why Father said, communist ideology, this is wrong because of True Father's experience personally with our Heavenly Parent. So Father said, I firmly believe that if our world and humankind do not seek for God and return to Him, ultimately all people will meet their doom. So if North Korea, these nations now, can you imagine now, especially the advanced nations that are, advanced economically, like, we also have like in our Southeast Asia, we have also like Singapore, very advanced nation, but many people now doesn't believe in God. In Japan, many nations. So if this will continue, what will going to happen? Their nation will going to perish. People of this nation will going to perish. So that's why Father said, if people will not going to seek God and return to Him, ultimately people will meet their doom. That's why how much True Parents have invested to eliminate communism, because communism denies God's existence. That's why, as we have learned the other day, this is the greatest enemy of Heavenly Parents, sabi ni Father. Can you imagine if a person, for example, denies his parents who are alive, who are actually alive? This is the greatest betrayal. So this is what communism is doing, denying the existence of God. And we know God exists. Can you imagine? This is really the greatest enemy. That's why True Parents, how long Father said in His lifetime, I spent my lifetime fighting communism, this ideology that denies God's existence, the greatest enemy of God. Right? So if people will going to not seek God, Father said, and not return to Him, people will perish. That's why, through parents' effort, so communism collapsed. God will never allow, right? So especially this time, Mother is telling us, God cannot wait any longer. Actually, the last nation that is divided now, practicing this ideology is North Korea. So Korean Peninsula, this is really now the final, because this is God's homeland, right? So we understand Satan cannot just easily, let this go, this nation go, and be claimed by God. That's why true parents have gone through unimaginable course, right? So true parents' entire life fighting against communism. So now we are really grateful now in the Philippines. We have now this opportunity to educate our youth leaders through our regional youth forum, partnering with the government. Truly amazing, right? So we are now thinking of how to expand to the provincial level, to the city, municipality, and until all barangay levels. So today, actually, we're going to have the RYF in Region 10. And then a lot of support from the government, also endorsement from the DepEd. There is also really amazing now, the support from the government. Amazing our program. This is really God's way, really helping our nation to make our nation channel book. Aju, really amazing time now. So we are now going to this, solving this really greatest problem and greatest, enemy of our heavenly parent, communism. So now we are working with the government who is doing whole nation approach, right? But they cannot solve this without the ideology of true parents. Aju, this is the only solution. That's why now all government officials who are listening from our teaching, they are really amazed. So really, as we advance forward and really put more effort, I'm sure soon, really with the government together, they will going to, adopt these teachings of true parents. And then it will be spread to the education system, all, sectors of the government. Really, we are now on the final time and in the right time. Let's really unite completely and work harder, right? And centering in our beloved true mother. Father said, no one can establish a standard of human morality and ethics. So in that sense, I cannot say that the free world or capitalistic world today is walking in the right direction. Also, this is very important point for us to understand. Father said, rather, I think that within the capitalistic world is a tidal surge of atheism and materialism that is shaping and threatening the future of humankind as much as communism ever did. So if God, the root of the universe, does not exist, there is no standard of absolute value in the world. In that case, no one can establish a standard of human morality and ethics. And such a society has no fundamental philosophy that makes human beings lords of all created things. Atheistic, all-powerful materialism brings divine punishment in the form of today's knotty problems. For example, the tragedies of ethnic conflict, religious war and bloodshed, drug addiction and violence, free sex and AIDS. So the same is true. That's why left wing, also the right wing, neither of the two should be head wing. Even the capitalistic world, the democratic world. So sabi ni Father ngayon, this is not, what also we need. So actually, Father said dito, I think that within the capitalistic world is a tidal surge of atheism and materialism that is shaping and threatening the future of humankind as much as communism ever did. So the same is true ngayon with the problems that we can see now in the democratic nations. Right? So now we can see becoming even worse the problems of these nations that too much, shouting about freedom, too much freedom. They don't have, really clear standard of human morality and ethics. This is now the problem. So now, what happens now? We can see now the result. That's why neither the left wing or the right wing, Father said, communism or democracy, what we need is the head wing. These two needs to come together in unity, centering on the head wing, God-centered ideology, right? With the unification principle. This is the only way for these two to unite and come together and contribute, right? Centering on the head wing ideology. We have to unite them because they have no standard, even the democracy, capitalistic world, Father is saying, no one can establish a standard of human morality and ethics. So what's the result now? So all this atheistic, so even in democracy now, many people are becoming atheists, because of this, too much freedom also. And then no standard of morality and ethics. So now we can see that Father said here, all-powerful materialism brings divine punishment. So what are we experiencing today? These are punishment in form of today's knotty problems, like tragedies of ethnic conflict, unending conflict, religious war and bloodshed, drug addiction and violence, free sex and AIDS. That's why the way of the government they are doing, they cannot solve all these problems. Only through parents, only the teachings of the divine principle can solve all these problems. They don't know because they don't know the root. That's why only us, only true parents actually are the ones that can solve all these problems now of the world. That's why we have to bring these powerful leaders from different nations to support true parents' effort. This is the only way to really bring about world of peace. Aju? Aju. That's why no one can, establish all these things. Only true parents and can solve all these problems now that we are facing. Only through parents. Aju? That's why we have to let all the people know about our Heavenly Parent. This is the first thing, right? And then they have to know true parents, and then they have to know the principle. We have to teach them continuously. So that's why Father said, the most urgent priority is that all human beings come to know God. I took great pains in searching for the fundamental cure to these problems and found the solution in a revelation from God. I think that to attain world peace, the most urgent priority is that all human beings come to know God, who is the one great governor of heaven and earth, and their parent, and become his children. I am standing in the center because I declared having thought, which is Godism. So what is the most urgent? Father said, the most urgent priority is for all humanity to know God. That's why also this pandemic has brought us to this, actually conclusion that all people needs to attend God. All people needs to honor Heavenly Parents. All people needs to recognize our Heavenly Parent, right? So now, because also of this pandemic, people could, realize. People now are, they became more prayerful. Really, this is the most urgent. That's why True Mother is telling us, Heavenly Parent cannot wait any longer. Humanity needs to recognize Heavenly Parent. Humanity needs to attend our Heavenly Parent. This is the most urgent priority more than anything else. Aju? So if all people, that's why the reunification of North and South Korea. Korean people needs to know God. Right? Not only the North, even, South Korea. Because of, two advancement also now, South Korea, they becoming top of the world now. They belong to top 5 most progressive nation already. But they cannot recognize why this happens to them. For a short time, they could recover. It's all because of true parents. Right? And then they became so materialistic. And then what happens now? All problems are coming. They don't want to get married. Korean, they just want to enjoy their life. Very individualistic. And then no more children are being born. That's why already like negative. But because only of the multicultural families, because of the families that true parents have brought together. Right? This is the only hope of Korea. That's why sabi ni True Mother, nabanggit niya that one day later, meron ng multicultural army ang Korea. Kasi nga, our young generation, second generation, third generation in Korea, they all really religiously joined the military. More than 4,000, sabi ni True Mother, have joined. Time will come, magkaroon na ng multicultural army sa Korea because of our movement, because of true parents. So we are really saving, literally, Korea also, and then really the world. Because of true parents, all blessed families are now spread worldwide. Aju? That's why we are the ones, tayo yung katuwang ng true parents. We have to really teach all people about Heavenly Parent. We have to teach them about true parents. We have to teach them about the principle. So the most urgent priority, sabi ni Father, is for all people to know God. Really teaching about Heavenly Parent. Now, already everything is free and everything is has been revealed. That Heavenly Parent is not only Heavenly Father, right? Also Heavenly Parent, also Heavenly Mother. So that's why our True Mother now, the only begotten daughter, the female, the manifestation of our Heavenly Parent on earth. Aju? That's why now for Christians, it's very good actually. Talking to them about only begotten daughter, it's first time for them to hear about this. They're very interested. Because what they only know is only begotten Son. Right? So this is now the right time for us to really teach people about Heavenly Parent. This is the top priority. Aju? So if only people can know about Heavenly Parent, all these problems can be solved. Then unification between North and South Korea will surely happen very soon, right? And then the whole world will come together when they started to really know about our Heavenly Parent. And then they will going to know true parents, and then the principle, Aju, Aju. That's why really we are truly grateful that we are really living together with our true mother now and working together in the final stage of the providence. Aju, that's why in true mother's lifetime, she determined, as she promised, to restore 7 nations, 7 religious denominations by 2020. True mother accomplished that. And then we are now on the second 7-year course of true mother. And then she promised to Heavenly Parent, to true father, to really complete the providence, in her lifetime. Even though not easy, but at least true mother said at least minimum 1/3 of the world population. That's why we are moving forward in complete unity with our true mother. We can see now great miracles are taking place. Aju, that's why let's really also do our best to fulfill our responsibilities as filial children, as Chonbo families, as the central families. We have to really fulfill the desire of our beloved true parents. Let's really march forward to accomplish our responsibility. Aju, for all the central families, we need to become all Chonbo challengers. We need to really start, right? All our single brothers and sisters needs to prepare very well, right? Need to prepare very well. So let's really, hand in hand, really fulfill our responsibility, work together as one in our nation, and really supporting our beloved true parents. So our PCLC, this is our substantial support to our beloved true parents, our true mother. That's why almost we are completing 100,000 registration, but these are mostly coming from HTM. So we need to make plan. How can these people will going to watch, right? So with these remaining weeks of mobilization, and let's really tap the highest religious leaders in our areas. We shouldn't really let them miss this opportunity. Aju, let's really invite all of them, partner with them, and really let's offer really substantial victory and substantial support to our true mother through our PCLC. Aju, so once again, I would like to really thank all of you. Let's really appreciate and really offer our gratitude to our Heavenly Parents and true parents for their continuous guidance. And thank you very much to all our beloved brothers and sisters, those families and Chonbo families. Let's really have a victorious day today. May Heavenly Parents love and blessings be always upon you and your families. Always stay safe and healthy. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Muchísimas gracias to our beloved national leader, Reverend Leo Angelo Tihalog. Once again, brothers and sisters, thank you so much for, especially to our national leader, Dr. Reverend Leo Angelo Tihalog, for the best guidance today. And now we will go to our reflections. Having reflections or realizations in our daily lives are really important, because through these things we could feel more and understand more our purpose and how true parents really sacrificing for the realization of North and South Korea, and on how we could contribute for God's providence for the heavenly unified world. And together we can make our community, nation, world a better place to live in. So anyone in Zoom who wants to volunteer, please unmute yourself po. Meron po mag-volunteer. If none po, let us proceed to our special reflectors for today. And let us call for our first reflector for today's sermon. She is originally from Zamboanga City and now living in Nepal with her family. Now, without further ado, please help me to welcome Mrs. Fiona Muzar Sankiti, our eldest sister. Let's give her a virtual round of applause.
Good morning po sa inyong lahat. Okay, naririnig po. Yeah,
Yes.
first of all, I'd like to greet our Heavenly Parent and true parents. I'd like to greet our leaders, Dr. and Mrs. Kitel, Kuya Julius, our NL couple, Kuya Leo and Kaya-san, Dr. Venus, Ate Shirley and Kuya Jimmy, Ate Grace Mayo, and especially our very hardworking leaders from Zamboanga, Kuya Bong and Ate Elsa. Thank you so much, Ate Elsa, for inviting me today, this morning. It's my first time to join. You know, for a very long time po yung morning devotion dito sa Philippines. And I'm very excited to see everyone's faces. It's about 4:51 now, so it's pretty early ngayong umaga dito sa Nepal, but I'm very grateful na kasama ko po ngayon dito. And I was tasked to give a reflection on the message that Kuya LA gave. Very timely po, no? And looking back, how I started galing pong Zamboanga around 2011, supporting Holy Ground activities, yung pag-establish ng Holy Ground. So sumama po ako kina Ate Grace, Bishop Soria, noon kay Kuya Julio, siya pa yung NL namin noon, tsaka yung sa CD natin noon, si Dr. Yong. Sama-sama po ako sa kanila nag-establish ng Holy Ground sa Zamboanga, tsaka sa Basilan. And looking that back, and sa ano yung nangyayari ngayon, very timely talaga yung sinasabi ni Kuya LA, no? Yung mga sinasabi ni True Father na we really need true parents. He's right when he said that communism-wise, kasi nga walang aspect ng Godism, kailangan talaga natin, you know, to learn kung sino ba talaga yung heaven, yung parent natin, yung center. And even if we look at the free world, capitalist or democratic world, dahil parang sobrang free, marami ring mga disadvantages. And so I'm really proud that true parents have established the headwind ideology. Dahil po dyan dito sa Nepal, there's a Nepal Family Party. As you all know, si Honorable Dakal po yung naging leader doon. And I'd like to give that credit, you know, to True Father as well because of that. The efforts that Honorable Dakal is doing is really bearing fruit. Just last night po, we celebrated and the Rally of Hope events, and we had our VIPC, former Vice President of Nepal and former Education Minister, and they were really appreciative of True Parents' efforts. And also, we celebrated the fact that Honorable Dakal will be the special envoy for the upcoming World Summit. And it's not an easy task because he will be representing True Mother and he will be inviting heads of states. So probably the World Summit will be late this year or early next year. And because of the travel restrictions, it will be a very challenging task. And yun po yung parang update ko, like looking back from Zamboanga mission up till now. And along the way, I just realized that, you know, whatever mission that is be given to us, example, maybe we are a full-time member, or as we receive blessing, we become spouse, and as we start families, we become parents. We still have to really look deep and really analyze what is the core of our mission. And right, we meet a lot of challenges along the way. Magiging easier po yun kasi we will really stick with the goal of true parents, and that is making our lives more meaningful day by day. So thank you so much, Kuya LA, and to all the leaders and to all the blessed families joining right now and giving me the opportunity to really share and reflect and be thankful and grateful for what your parents have done and have made impact in our lives. So thank you po, and I hope you all have a great day.
Thank you so much, our Ate Fiona Musarsan Kitty. Let's give her our Ate Fiona with a virtual round of applause. Thank you. For our second to give reflection, please help me to welcome our second generation daughter of Honorable Eknat Dakal and Mrs. Leslie Dakal. Let's welcome our Ate Esther Yen Gadon Dakal with a virtual clap. Welcome.
Hello, good morning po. Before I give my reflection, I would like to thank Tita Elsa po for giving me this opportunity kahit na it's like 5 a.m. in Nepal. Nagpa-effort po ako kasi importante naman to. So, thank you very much, Sir L.A., for giving such an inspirational morning devotion po. I would like to introduce myself po before. I'm originally from Nepal, pero I transferred to Zamboanga. So I'm part of Zamboanga represent. Same like Ate Fiona. So I transferred to Zamboanga for high school and now I'm back in Nepal, pero kahit na Zamboanga represent pa rin. I'd like to mention yung main point po talaga na na-realize ko sa morning devotion ni Sir L.A. Now he really highlighted the point now we need to like really cooperate and interconnect the internal and external aspect that we have nowadays. Kasi, di ba may mga tao na sobra like internal lang, tapos mayroon din mga tao na sobra na external lang na focus. Pero kailangan namin na mag-interconnect ng dalawa, kailangan namin na mag-cooperate ng dalawa para magiging mas successful, para magiging mas like both of the worlds can interconnect and come to the same goal, parang ganyan. Yun na talaga yung main takeaway ko sa morning devotion ni Kuya, ni Sir L.A. na, for the example that he gave na parang father really focused on like the politicians in Korea na he really like tried his best to organize mga ILC para he can involve people from the external world, which he realizes is really important in order for us to really achieve our goal in the long run. Now in Sir L.A.'s morning devotion, he really made us realize that that's what True Father has been longing for since a really long time. And it's really amazing, like Ate Fiona mentioned a while ago, we just celebrated the victory celebration of the Rallies of Hope, and we're really grateful to have like big politicians and from different parts of the world, from different countries. We even have had President Trump and Hun Sen and a lot of other politicians from the external world that was supporting, and that was actually like, yung philosophy of True Father. Parang they really support the idea of world peace, and they really support like what True Father was going for. And I really realized that that's really important for us in order to reach our goal at the end of the day. Para magiging Chon Ilgo, para magiging one family under God, we really need to incorporate both. Yun lang talaga po. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Ate Esther, for that wonderful reflection. And now let's give her a thank you clap. And now, before we proceed to our third to give her reflection, and now please let me welcome our elder Kuya Roy Caromba with a virtual clap. Welcome po.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. Good morning, Zamboanga. Buenos dias. I've been in Zamboanga, I think 1993 to 1997. So I miss Zamboanga. Today's topic, I remember through Mother's message during the last Rally of Hope, telling the Korean people and Korean leaders that as Korea, by themselves, they should take responsibility. Then also today, our national leader talking about the situation of Korea, that many Koreans don't want to have babies. Many young people don't want to have families. And the hope is the international couples that were matched by our true parents. It is the same thing here in Japan. Many Japanese don't want to get married. Many Japanese also don't want to have babies. And I'm reflecting that, yeah, the hope of our true parents also here in Japan are the international families. And of course, our family, many family members here in Japan. So the same thing in our country, Philippines. If we will not take also responsibility as Filipinos, as members of the Heavenly Parents Holy Community, then we cannot really establish a Chonilgop in the Philippines. So even how much we learn about the truth, if we cannot reach out cane people, because there are two things to establish God's will. The previous topic of Kuya Leo, God's will can be realized only if first we know who is the central person, if we can have an offering and there's a time frame, so timetable. We should let the people know that God's will can be realized only if we know true parents. Let them know true parents. Let them know true mother. And we should offer offering. So what are the offerings in our time? This time, this is my reflection that, yeah, this time our region or our country, our region need to offer something to true parents. Gather all religious leaders through PCLC and let them understand the responsibility, our responsibility as a nation, our responsibility to really revive the family, restore the family, to revive the community through education, restore the family through its TM, we revive the community to reaching out cane people and educate them, especially the young people. And then through that, we can renew our nation. We can be able to establish Chonilgo. So the same thing also in Japan, in Korea, and many countries in the world. Everybody should do that as chosen people of God, as central blessed families. So if we ourselves as God's chosen people, as central blessed families, cannot fulfill our responsibility, we might like the same as as the Israelites before, whom God raised up for thousands of years, and they think that the blessing is only for them. And this is the danger of being a member of this Holy Parents Holy Community. The blessing is not for us. The blessing should be multiplied. That's why even in the three great blessing, the second blessing is multiplied. Okay? When we have our faith, when we know our central person, it should be multiplied. So that's why we should do our part, and we should take ownership of the providence this time. So in whatever we can do, we should always support, and we should always remember that there is always a center, and that is our true parents and our true parents representatives, our leaders, that we should unite. Thank you and good morning.
Thank you so much, Tito Roy, for that wonderful reflection. And now, brothers and sisters, let's give him, Tito Roy, thank you clap. And now for our last to give her reflection, also second daughter of our Honorable Ignat Dakal and Mrs. Blessy Dakal, the second daughter, no other than Miss Kahi Nifil Gadon Dakal, with a virtual round of applause.
Well, good morning po to everyone. I was raised in Zamboanga City po, so I'm very Zamboanganya. Thank you so much po to Tito Bong, Tita Elsa, and to Brian for really helping the Providence of Zamboanga. They have done so much po for Zamboanga City. And they're always working hard every day po talaga for Zamboanga City Providence. So thank you so much po to the Katbay family. And I have 2 points po for the reflection today. First is about true parents' teachings in general, and second is about head-wing democracy specifically. So first about true parents' teachings. So as the national leader, Sir L.A. Presented to us po that true parents have a lot of teachings about things in the world, such as about politics, etc. So what we have to remember is that these teachings of true parents, they're not just made up, or of course sometimes there's divine inspiration, but then true parents also really study what's happening in the world. They really include like science, and they include politics and other things. They really study it really carefully so that they're able to teach us properly. So we have to remember this so that we value their teachings more. Because sometimes we just hear, oh, true parents is saying this and that, so we're just listening to it, but are we really processing it, and are we really valuing it the way that we should? That's the first point about true parents' teachings, is that it really it took a long time for true parents to teach these things and to realize these things, so we really need to value it. And second is about head-wing democracy. So yung head-wing democracy, but it's not something that you can just get anywhere else. This is very special. That's why we really need to value it, as Sir L.A. said. And these types of teachings, as connected to what I said earlier about your parents' teachings, these type of teachings is special because you can't just get it anywhere. Even if you try to Google, or even how much you try to study, or how many years you study in college, you'll never be able to get this type of specific teachings that true parents gives to us. So I guess my conclusion is that although sometimes it might be difficult to understand some of the things, because we're like, what is this? What does this mean? And stuff like that. Because not everything is so simple. Some of the things that your parents teach to us are difficult to understand. What we need to remember talaga is that these things were really well thought of. So obviously, we can't expect everyone to just understand them right away, but we should put in the effort to learn more, read more scriptures, and try to understand. Maybe we can ask some of our leaders about more of these things so that we truly understand what your parents want to teach to us. Once again, thank you so much po, and thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Miss Kahi, for that wonderful reflection. And now let's give her a virtual round of applause. Thank you so much. And for to formally close our morning devotion uh, and offer her closing prayer, let us welcome Mr. Benji Takeshi Valiente, the Secretary General of IEYSP Zamboanga Peninsula Chapter. Benji.
He's
Okay.
not in the zone.
Okay. Please join me in my prayer. Good morning to our most loving Heavenly Parents, our victorious true parents over heaven, earth, and humankind. Thank you so much, Heavenly Parents, for this wonderful opportunity, Heavenly Parents, that you given to us. Thank you so much, Heavenly Parents, for this wonderful morning, Heavenly Parents, that we could be able to wake up this morning, Father, with a grateful heart, with a peaceful mind, and also, Heavenly Parents, for this morning devotion, Heavenly Parents. Thank you so much, Heavenly Parents, for all the inspiration that we received today given to us by the mouthpiece of our parents, our very own hardworking national leader, Dr. Leo Angelo Tihalog. And we are so very grateful, Heavenly Parents, that through these words, Heavenly Parents, that we heard today, that could be able to substantialize and how we could be able to internalize and we could be able to practice in our daily life. Thank you so much, Heavenly Parents, for your love and care and for the unconditional love, Heavenly Parents. We know, Heavenly Parents, our hard work and effort, Father, is not really enough to comfort your suffering heart, but we really try our best, Heavenly Parents, on how we could be able to contribute something for the sake of the providence. Thank you, Heavenly Parents, especially Heavenly Parents. This time, Heavenly Parents, very our hard work, Heavenly Parents, all the hard works of our leaders are really sacrificing themselves, especially to our beloved True Mother, for the realization of the heavenly unified world, Heavenly Parents, that this time, Heavenly Parents, through the foundation of our all our leaders, our elders, Heavenly Parents, who really sacrificing their life, Heavenly Parents, for the providence. Now our era this time, Heavenly Parents, is very easy to restore all the VIPs and especially this time, Heavenly Parents. Thank you so much, Heavenly Parents, for your love, your guidance, Heavenly Parents, every day that we be able to inspire more and do our mission, our portion of responsibility. Thank you so much also, Heavenly Parents, to our uh, all our brothers and sisters, Heavenly Parents in the front line, and all the brothers and sisters who are really working hard, uh, external and internally, Heavenly Parents, for the realization or the providence of restoration, Heavenly Parents. Thank you so much, Heavenly Parents, once again for everything and all the things I pray on behalf of my brothers and sisters in your name, in your parents' name, Aju. Aju. Let's have our unison prayer. Aju, aju, aju. As we conclude and finish our morning devotion, let us offer again our morning greetings to our heavenly parents, our beloved true parents, all our leaders, to our brothers and sisters. Good morning, God and true parents. Good morning. Take care and God bless po sa ating lahat. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you so much for joining this daily morning devotion.
Sabunin James. Good morning.
Good morning, Rosana. Thank you.
Good morning, Sambuanga.
Morning,
Everyone. Thank you, NL. Thank you.
Ate Elsa.
Buenos dias, Sambuanga.